Just how chaotic did Puff Daddy's inner circle get for both the FBI and Homeland Security to get involved? Fast forward to May 1st. Diddy publicly denied the prosecution settlement agreement. Meanwhile, a growing chorus of accusers is stepping forward, their story stretching wider than the Great Plains. We're talking allegations that have even dragged the British royal family into the periphery. The names swirling around this mess. Think beyond just Justin Bieber. We're talking superstar diva Mariah Carey, and the list goes on, reaching dizzying heights. You're probably thinking, who is this guy? Even for a famous rapper, how could things get this out of control? Well, the sheer volume of accusations is staggering, so let's slice into this juicy melon piece by piece. But before we begin, a crucial disclaimer. This video isn't about glorifying anything. We're here to understand the unfolding situation. So, let's rewind and start with the moment the spotlight turned sour for Diddy. He's had more nicknames than we've had hot dinners, but let's stick with Diddy for now. Asking us to call him Love gives us serious Britney Spears vibes, and honestly, Puff Daddy feels a bit too paternal for the subject matter. So, Diddy it is. Born into poverty in the Bronx, New York, a place grappling with long-standing drug crime and hardship, think Gotham City with a hip-hop beat. Diddy's early life was tough. The harsh realities didn't let up for long. In the winter of 1972, his father was tragically shot and killed in his car. The killer remains unknown. To support her two young sons, Diddy's mother, Janice, juggled multiple jobs, working at a kindergarten, driving a bus, and caring for children with special needs. Losing his father created a deep bond between Diddy and his mother, who poured her meager savings into giving him a better future. In school, Diddy was a decent football player, but his temper was notorious. By his own admission, anger would leave him breathless and agitated. Years later, in 1998, his high school made headlines again when the principal and a pastor were investigated for sexually assaulting students. Only one boy came forward, and while there's no evidence linking Diddy to the abuse, considering the later allegations against him, it's a chilling possibility. Diddy's ambition led him to an unpaid internship at a record label. He was a hard worker, a keen observer, and a natural charmer. His first major project as a promoter sold a staggering 2 million copies, catapulting his career. He quickly rose through the ranks to become a talent developer, putting him in contact with a growing number of rap artists. Even in his early 20s, Diddy was throwing lavish parties. When he eventually left that label, he had a plan. He signed a then 19-year-old Christopher Wallace, aka the notorious B.I.G. Big, a former street hustler with a raw talent for rapping. Diddy became his manager, fully supporting Big's burgeoning career. Big didn't disappoint, showcasing his incredible lyrical skills and becoming a formidable rival to West Coast rappers like Tupac Shakur. Tupac was the founder of Death Row Records, a label that also housed iconic artists like Snoop Dogg, who will be carrying the Olympic torch in Paris in 2024. A bitter rivalry erupted between the East Coast, Bad Boy Records, Diddy, Big, and the West Coast, Death Row, Tupac, Snoop, escalating into lyrical warfare and fierce fan clashes. The tension reached a boiling point on September 4, 1996, when Tupac was shot and killed. 6 months later, on March 9, 1997, Big was also gunned down. These complex and mysterious murders could be entire documentaries on their own, so we won't get sidetracked here. However, it's worth noting that initial leads in both shootings pointed towards Diddy. Furthermore, Tupac's girlfriend at the time later became involved with Diddy and even had a child with him. If the rumors are true, that would add another layer of potential culpability to Diddy's already murky situation. As for Big, many believe he wasn't killed by rivals, but by his own boss, Diddy. Diddy certainly had a motive. Big's $2.0 string of awards and massive success meant Diddy, through their contract, was reaping half the rewards without doing much of the creative work. After Big's death, his posthumous albums sold incredibly well, making Diddy an even bigger winner financially. While Diddy undoubtedly has some musical talent, his own albums often employed numerous ghostwriters and producers. His real genius lies in his charisma, networking skills, and a seemingly boundless ability to make money. He'd reportedly insert his own few lines into other artists' tracks and appear in their music videos for a quick cameo, using it as justification to take a bigger cut of the earnings. Beyond music, Diddy diversified his empire, venturing into clothing, fragrances, magazines, alcohol, and restaurants, consistently raking in substantial profits. With a bulging bank account came a chaotic personal life. Serial infidelity and juggling multiple relationships became his norm. Diddy has 7 children with various women. His complex romantic entanglements took a dramatic turn on December 27, 1999, at a New York City nightclub. Diddy and Jennifer Lopez were caught in a chaotic scene after a shooting, injuring 3 people. Following the gunfire, Diddy, J-Lo, and their bodyguard fled the scene. When police stopped their vehicle, they found a stolen handgun inside. Despite Diddy allegedly bribing several witnesses, after a week-long trial, Diddy, J-Lo, and the bodyguard walked free. However, J-Lo's family strongly disapproved of her relationship with Diddy, and 2 years later, they broke up. Prior to J-Lo, Diddy was involved with model Kim Porter starting in 1994. They finally separated in 2007, the year after she gave birth to their twin daughters. Tragically, Kim Porter passed away from pneumonia in 2018. But the woman who truly ignited the current firestorm is our third key figure. Cassandra Ventura, known professionally as Cassie. Cassie started modeling at 14 and moved to New York at 18 to pursue her dreams of stardom after studying singing, acting, and ballet. Diddy reportedly couldn't sleep the entire week before finally signing her to a 10-album deal. Cassie's initial years with Diddy's company seemed like a fairy tale. Her debut album in August 2006 reached number 4 on the charts. But a nightmare was brewing beneath the surface. In 2016, a mutual acquaintance confided in Cassie, suggesting that Diddy seemed overly interested in her. Cassie, then 20, brushed it off, considering Diddy was significantly older. However, subsequent events forced her to question her initial dismissal. Diddy began frequently inviting her to his homes in various cities, always with the caveat that her boyfriend wasn't welcome. After numerous rejections, Diddy resorted to another tactic: alleged drugging. In September 2007, Cassie claims Diddy gave her a pill in his car, and the aftermath was hazy and disturbing. Diddy showered Cassie with gifts. Designer bags, jewelry, luxury cars, and even apartments in Manhattan and Los Angeles. Slowly, it became clear that Cassie wasn't just an employee. She was completely under Diddy's control. He dictated her wardrobe, her schedule, her every move. She was a puppet. One night in 2009, after Cassie announced her plans to leave Diddy, he allegedly flew into a rage. His bodyguard witnessed the assault but was unable to stop him. Diddy reportedly beat Cassie severely. To cover his tracks, he allegedly paid her off with $1 million, demanding she sign an NDA promising never to speak about their relationship. Cassie, terrified of Diddy's power and influence, felt trapped. Fast forward to November 2023. Cassie, empowered by new legal avenues for survivors of sexual assault, filed a bombshell lawsuit against Diddy. Her 35-page complaint detailed horrific allegations, revealing a side of Diddy far more sinister than anyone imagined. Cassie claimed Diddy hosted crazy parties with an endless supply of celebrities, athletes, and drugs. But the real horror unfolded after these public gatherings. Diddy allegedly organized even more depraved private parties, often in the most expensive presidential suites he could rent. These weren't just wild gatherings. Cassie described them as meticulously orchestrated scenarios involving hand-picked individuals, both male and female, flown in from across the country and even internationally. Cassie alleged that Diddy would force her to engage in sexual acts with male workers while he watched, deriving pleasure from it. He would reportedly film these encounters, using the videos as leverage to keep Cassie compliant. Refusal would be met with physical violence. On one occasion, he allegedly used Cassie's phone to record her at a party. When she deleted the video, Diddy found it on her cloud and forced her to watch it. Cassie claimed these twisted parties occurred roughly once a week in hotels across America, including the Trump International Hotel in New York and various locations in Los Angeles. Afterwards, Diddy would allegedly provide hangover nurses to help the participants recover from heavy drug and alcohol use. Cassie recalled a particularly disturbing incident on her 29th birthday in May 2018. Diddy insisted she leave her own birthday celebration to attend one of his parties. When she resisted, her friend stood up for her. Enraged, Diddy later barged into her friend's hotel room in the middle of the night, grabbing one of her friends and dangling him precariously over the balcony. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. Finally deciding to break free, Cassie slowly distanced herself from Diddy, returning his gifts. A year later, in 2018, she finally ended their tumultuous relationship. She then began dating Alex Fine, a personal trainer. 8 months into their relationship, in October 2019, Diddy discovered Cassie was pregnant. Without hesitation, he allegedly pressured her to get an abortion. Around the same time, Diddy began a relationship with Gina Huen. Gina claims she witnessed her mother being abused by her father growing up, which normalized such behavior for her. Her relationship with Diddy mirrored Cassie's in many ways, marked by lavish gifts, followed by alleged abuse and control. Gina claims she endured 2 abortions for Diddy and described him as a violent and controlling partner. Notably, Gina publicly detailed Diddy's alleged abuse and infidelity in 2019, 4 years before Cassie filed her lawsuit. However, her status as the other woman at the time likely diminished the public's reaction to her claims, reducing them to mere tabloid fodder. Despite the swirling allegations, in 2022, Diddy received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards. During his acceptance speech, he made a cryptic statement. Cassie was not present at the ceremony. considering subsequent events, many speculate that Diddy's words held a veiled threat, a reminder that he hadn't forgotten her. Whether he attempted to further intimidate her remains unknown. Many questioned why Cassie waited 5 years after their breakup to file her lawsuit. The answer likely lies in the Adult Survivors Act, a New York state law that allowed survivors of sexual offenses, whose statute of limitations had expired, to file civil lawsuits until November 24, 2023. Crucially, this was a civil case, meaning Diddy wouldn't face jail time, only financial penalties. Predictably, Diddy and his legal team denied Cassie's allegations. His lawyers argued that if the abuse had been so severe and lasted for 11 years, why hadn't Cassie reported it sooner? They painted her lawsuit as a blatant attempt to extort money, threatening to reveal past experiences and even write a book if her demands weren't met. This smear campaign might have swayed some, painting Diddy as the victim. However, Cassie's lawyer swiftly countered, stating that Diddy's team had initially offered an 8-figure settlement, which Cassie rejected. This suggests the issue wasn't about extortion, but about the inadequacy of the initial offer. Just hours later, Cassie's lawyer announced that a settlement had been reached. The exact amount remains undisclosed, but it's undoubtedly a substantial sum, likely in the 9-figure range. Following the settlement, Diddy's lawyer issued a statement wishing Cassie well. Cassie, in turn, stated that she had chosen to resolve the matter amicably and thanked her family and legal team. Diddy's final, somewhat insincere, sign-off wished Cassie and her family well. Crucially, Diddy was not subpoenaed in this civil case. However, if he continues to deny the allegations under oath in future legal proceedings, Cassie could still be called to testify. As his former girlfriend of 11 years, her testimony would undoubtedly be a crucial piece of evidence. Just 3 months after Cassie's lawsuit settled, another accuser, Rodney Jones Jr., filed a staggering $30 million lawsuit against Diddy. He didn't just sue Diddy. His suit also named Diddy's son, Justin Combs, and several executives at Diddy's companies. Rodney grew up in a church family and was passionate about music from a young age, playing drums at 5 and guitar at 13. Before becoming a professional musician, Rodney worked with Diddy, producing several new songs for his albums. Grateful for the opportunity, Rodney often spent late nights in the studio, sacrificing sleep. However, he soon realized he had walked into a lion's den. From New York to Miami to Florida, Rodney alleges he was repeatedly harassed by Diddy in each of his residences. On one occasion, Diddy allegedly groped him during a recording session. Rodney chose to report Diddy's behavior to a music company executive, Chris Lighty. However, Lighty, who worked for Diddy, dismissed Rodney's concerns, telling him he needed to toughen up. Diddy, aware of Rodney's admiration for music producer Stevie J, who had helped him with his Grammy-winning work, allegedly shared a story about Stevie J's past relationship with singer Maya in Philadelphia. According to Rodney's lawsuit, Diddy implied a pattern of exploiting young artists. Around this time, rumors began circulating online, accusing Rodney of being gay. Diddy allegedly fueled these rumors. Initially, Rodney tried to ignore them, but after 3 days of relentless online harassment, he lashed out on Twitter, vehemently denying the accusations and defending his masculinity. He even claimed he could be intimate with women multiple times a day. When verbal intimidation failed, Diddy allegedly escalated. In 2022, Diddy, who had a new girlfriend named Young Miami at the time, allegedly made unwanted advances towards Rodney, who rejected him. Later, while Rodney was in the bathroom, Young Miami's cousin allegedly entered and attempted to sexually assault him. Startled, Rodney pushed him away and fled. He believed Diddy orchestrated the entire incident. Diddy, however, persisted. In January, at a party on a yacht, Diddy allegedly introduced Rodney to a woman and pressured him to engage in sexual activity. When Rodney refused, Diddy allegedly became aggressive and Rodney had to physically push him away. Finally, in February 2023, Rodney alleges he was drugged by Diddy. He woke up naked in Diddy's bed. Similar incidents allegedly occurred in May and July 2023. It's worth noting that Rodney filed his lawsuit for $30 million after Cassie's lawsuit became public, perhaps emboldened by her actions. This complex case prompted a joint operation by the FBI and Homeland Security. In March 2024, they raided 2 of Diddy's properties in Los Angeles and Miami. His Miami waterfront mansion, located on Star Island, boasts a sprawling estate with a massive pool, gardens, barbecue area, a pizza oven, and a small theater. Diddy purchased the property for $39 million between 2012 and 2014. 10 years later, after the raid, the mansion was listed for sale at $61.5 million. The garden features a striking silver metal sculpture of a headless, armless female figure. Its significance remains unclear. Diddy himself wasn't present during the raids. Only his 2 sons were reportedly at the Los Angeles property and they appeared surprisingly calm. At the time of the raids, Diddy was reportedly in Antigua. Why did both the FBI and Homeland Security get involved? Homeland Security's involvement suggests the investigation goes beyond typical criminal allegations, potentially involving interstate or international aspects, human trafficking, or other federal crimes falling under their jurisdiction. They handle higher-level security matters like border control, intelligence analysis, and emergency response. The FBI, known for its meticulous approach, likely conducted thorough groundwork before executing these raids. And then came the bombshell. In May 2024, a 3-minute hotel surveillance video, obtained by CNN, surfaced. The footage allegedly shows Diddy physically assaulting Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel hallway in 2016, corroborating details from her lawsuit. The video appears to show Diddy, wearing only a towel, chasing Cassie down the hallway, grabbing her, and throwing her to the ground. He then kicks her repeatedly before dragging her back towards a hotel room. Later, after Cassie retrieved her belongings from the room, Diddy allegedly assaulted her again, throwing a vase at her. The next morning, Cassie, wearing a hooded sweatshirt to conceal her face, cautiously walked towards the hotel elevators, only to hear Diddy chasing after her, yelling obscenities. Fearing retaliation, Cassie reportedly returned to Diddy and apologized, begging him not to punish her. The video's existence suggests Diddy's alleged $50,000 bribe to the hotel security guard to prevent a police report was successful in the short term. The release of this video sparked widespread outrage, effectively silencing Diddy's previous denials. More and more celebrities who had attended his infamous Phoenix parties began distancing themselves from him. When TMZ asked Diddy about allegations of freak fest parties with both men and women, Diddy paused and replied, "Those are different kinds of parties," referring to late-night gatherings at hotels. While some claim they attended Diddy's parties and witnessed nothing suspicious, others, like supermodel Naomi Campbell, a close friend of Diddy since 2001, have publicly defended him. Naomi, who even organized a lavish 54th birthday party for Diddy, likely has some insight into his world. Then there's the curious case of Justin Bieber. A 15-year-old video resurfaced showing a much younger Bieber at a party with Diddy, looking visibly uncomfortable and seemingly being pressured to drink. In a later talk show appearance, Bieber claimed he only stayed at Diddy's for a couple of hours that night and didn't spend the night. This has led many to speculate whether Diddy's alleged behavior extends back years. Other prominent figures in the music industry, like Jay-Z, have maintained a long-standing friendship with Diddy. While Jay-Z has generally avoided public scandal, he has been photographed at Diddy's numerous parties, leading some to question whether he and his wife, Beyonce, were entirely unaware of the alleged activities. However, there's no public evidence directly linking them to any wrongdoing. The same goes for other A-listers like Leonardo DiCaprio, Denzel Washington, and even Prince Harry, who have been seen socializing with Diddy but haven't been implicated in any of the allegations. However, just 4 months after the hotel surveillance video surfaced, in September 2024, the US federal authorities dropped another bombshell. Diddy was arrested. The charges: labor trafficking, sex trafficking, kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction of justice, and illegal possession of firearms. One of the most bizarre details emerging from the search of his mansion was the discovery of over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and a 5-gallon drum of Vaseline. What were those for? We leave that to your imagination before this video gets flagged into oblivion. Interestingly, after this detail emerged, Johnson & Johnson, the makers of Johnson's baby oil, issued a statement clarifying that their product isn't typically sold in such large quantities in US supermarkets, directly contradicting Diddy's lawyers' attempts to explain away the discovery. Footage leaked online from the Homeland Security raid showed agents thoroughly searching Diddy's property, even breaching a door in one of the rooms. While officials haven't publicly disclosed everything they seized, it's been reported that over 100 electronic devices were taken. It's not hard to deduce that many of these devices likely contain surveillance footage, potentially including recordings of the alleged parties. Adding another layer of intrigue, a man named Quinton Jones was arrested in Miami in April 2024 after allegedly firing shots at federal agents who arrived to execute a search warrant at a property linked to Diddy. Jones, who reportedly has ties to Diddy's security team, engaged in a shootout with the agents. Due to the suspicion of a potential terror threat, he was interrogated by the US Secret Service. During questioning, Jones allegedly made rambling and incoherent statements, bizarrely mentioning Diddy and admitting to using significant amounts of narcotics. The timing of this arrest, just a month before the hotel video surfaced, raises even more questions. Why hadn't authorities acted on this information sooner? Perhaps they deemed Jones unreliable or the information too outlandish to be credible at the time. Then came May 1, when Diddy publicly denied the settlement agreement, suggesting even more explosive revelations might be on the horizon. Due to time constraints, we'll have to delve into many of the other interconnected mysteries like the suspicious deaths of those close to Diddy in a future video. Eagle-eyed viewers have even noted potential temporal links between the Jeffrey Epstein case and the unfolding Diddy saga. This story is far from over. The investigations are ongoing and more accusers may come forward. One thing is certain. The carefully constructed image of Puff Daddy, the music mogul and charismatic entrepreneur, has been shattered, revealing a much darker and more disturbing reality beneath the surface.